You.
How are you?
Good. Hey, what's going on?
So it would appear that somebody's trying to use my identity to purchase a vehicle
Okay.
at McCarthy Toyota.
Okay.
I've spoke to those folks, and they wanted me to make a report. I tried to reach out to one of the lenders. It looks like they've shot my credit out to several lenders. I'm in the process of trying to notify them as well. But they actually have a physical person that came to the dealership. I believe they've delivered the car, and they're probably trying to get the car back. But definitely fraud. It was not me that came in there, and they used all my information to try to buy it. I only discovered this because I'm getting credit alerts as they're running the credit.
Okay, but the dealership knows who it is?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I spoke to a guy named Larry, who's their finance manager there.
Okay.
And my understanding is the people came into the dealership to buy a vehicle using fake identity. But somebody named Patricia Harris, and if that's their real identity, of course. And they've actually contracted, and I believe put them in the car, is my understanding.
So they have the car now?
My understanding is they do.
Okay. That's odd, but...
Oh, I haven't been in the car business myself. Ironically, I've seen it happen. If you can believe this, I'm a retired deputy sheriff that has been in the car business as my second job most of my career, as most of us have had to do.
Right.
I was a chief deputy at Mays County in Oklahoma. I'm from Oklahoma.
Is that where you live now?
Not as odd as you would think, though. I mean, yeah, you think it's odd, but it happened.
Okay. I'm looking up in our system to see if we got 3 Patricia Harrises. So that
the dealership will probably have more information, such as driver license, identity, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
if she used her real information.
I'm gonna go there once I get off the phone with you. I'm just trying to get some stuff pulled back up here.
We had a bunch of cars stolen from our Dodge dealership back in Pryor, which
Yep.
they took a bunch of. We got 2 of them back, but they got a Hellcat or 2 Hellcats.
It blows my mind that I'm gonna go down and speak with the dealership, see if I can figure anything else out. Obviously, there will be a report done for it, probably.
Thank you very much.
All right, enjoy your trip.
Vehicle 121.
Doing all right. How are you? Larry. Appreciate you. Thank you much.
Tell them what's the form.
Do what?
Can I let them here? You need to pick up something?
Well, you can tell them the police, but
Okay.
Officer Paxton.
Okay.
Just trying to find me Larry.
Find Larry?
Larry.
Officer Paxton.
Officer Paxton, come on.
Yeah, this is about to be a cluster. I need to go back in and talk to them.
What's wrong?
So the driver's license that
Not valid.
it doesn't even come back to anybody.
Yeah, I figured as much. Fake driver's license.
What began as a suspicious credit inquiry has now crossed into something far more deliberate. The driver's license provided to the dealership isn't simply expired or incorrectly entered. It appears to have been manufactured using information belonging to different people. That matters, because this no longer looks like someone making a mistake on a loan application. Someone had to obtain a real person's identifying information, alter a photograph or license number, and then submit that document as legitimate. But there is still an important distinction. Investigators know the identity is fake, yet they do not know who created it, who supplied it, or exactly what the woman driving the vehicle understood. At this point, the evidence proves that a fraud occurred. It does not yet prove the full role of every person involved, and that gap between suspicion and proof is about to shape everything the officers do next.
They're not hard to do anymore. You can scan and change stuff.
The lady's coming.
Is she?
So I talked to Michael on the phone. She, like I said, she's pretty quick at whatever the hell she does. She goes, hey, there's an open ticket saying that we're supposed to do something with the headlight. So the vehicle should be there, isn't it? I called my service. No, it's not there. Called the Reeves back in there. He said, no, we definitely put her in it. She was going to come back because it wasn't a safety issue. She's going to come back. I said, okay. Michael said, call her back. See if you can get her in here. So I did. I called her and I said, hey, Robert with service, just wanted to see when you can bring that car in so we can get that part taken care of on it. She goes, well, I was supposed to come in Monday to get that done and the windows tinted. I said, we got time to do that right now. She goes, well, I'm coming from Mexico, Missouri. I'll be right there. I'll come right on in.
Hell yes.
So she's on her way in.
Okay.
If I can see somebody go away in cuffs today, I'll just kidding.
You're probably going to, honestly. So, when you all got a copy of his ID, I assume that he sent you guys that?
Yeah, and we talked to him on their salesperson talked to him on the phone, too.
Yeah.
So,
Because that driver's license doesn't even come back to anybody. Well, the OLN comes back to somebody, but it sure shit ain't him. Charles Thomas Smallwood isn't a name in the state of Missouri.
okay. I don't know how far Mexico, Missouri is from here.
It's
Hour and a half.
about 45 minutes
Yeah.
past.
I can call you.
Yeah, it's east side of
She's
Columbia.
going to
hits
sit
four
here
right
thinking
north.
she's getting tinted windows and everything. So it's
That would be
a 5-minute
fantastic.
thing. I can call you as soon as she shows up.
Absolutely. Yep. And I'll be back here.
Hey, that'll work, buddy.
Right on.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, fellas.
Appreciate it, my friend.
I honestly have no idea. I wasn't here Tuesday when the deal was done. All I knew is what me and you knew this morning that we talked about, and that's pretty much it. So I don't know. Where do you guys can come in here. There's an office in the back. Whatever works for you. Do you need it just you guys, or?
Well, so I want to separate them.
I have a key that I can unlock 2 offices over there that are side by side, but you can't even see each other. I'll go grab the key.
I've got another one that's got all his info on it.
I just want to show him this if he hands me a different ID.
I'm going to go back and grab them if you wouldn't mind walking us over to them.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Miss Patricia.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Officer Paxton Southeast Storm. I need to talk to both of you real quick.
Okay.
Follow him. This way?
Saw this and
Yeah, that'll be fine. Oh, Trisha, if you step in here with me.
This one right here.
yeah, right here.
Okay.
If you guys need anything, I'll be back in that office.
Thank you. All right, sir. So I'm Corporal Bear with the Police Department. That's me, Tricia.
Trisha.
How's it going?
It's all good. She, Christina has no idea.
Sure.
She's like, what the f did you get me into? So apparently, the guy whose name they used is her friend's uncle.
Friend's uncle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's your guy in the next room over?
He's just, his girlfriend is friends with her. He just came down for the ride so she wouldn't go to see
They're not friends. So her ex-boyfriend is his girlfriend.
Okay. Yep. So, his name is not this name. But, you know, he never came in here before. She came in alone to buy the car. So I've got nothing really linking him to this. So she's saying that this other guy is the one who gave her the name. So my question to her would be then is, if he's so willing to co-sign on this, why didn't he come down in person? Why's he got to send her an ID?
So I was just to the point where I was like, hey, do you know such and such? Which is what that OLN comes to. And she was like, yeah. How you know it?
That's it.
We're friends. It's complicated.
Okay.
So,
So next question then should be, did he know that you were using his social to buy this car?
yeah. His driver's license. Like I straight up told her, I said, yeah, the social provided comes back to a deputy sheriff out of Oklahoma. So she was like, oh.
You want us to kick this guy loose or stay with him?
I mean, y'all can kick him loose if you don't have any suspicion or anything.
Well, it's not that I don't have suspicion, it's that I don't have any proof. So I'm okay holding him until she gives him up.
This is one of the most revealing moments in the investigation. The officer openly admits that suspicion alone is not enough. The man may have arrived with Patricia, and his connections to the people involved may appear complicated, but investigators still need evidence showing that he knowingly participated in the scheme. That could mean messages, documents, recorded conversations, or proof that he helped obtain or submit the false identity. The same issue applies to Patricia's phone. Officers may strongly believe it contains the missing link, but searching its contents generally requires valid consent, a recognized legal exception, or judicial authorization. That is why they discuss obtaining a search warrant instead of simply scrolling through it. In true crime stories, arrests can make guilt seem obvious, But legally, being near a crime or even benefiting from it is not automatically the same as knowingly joining it. The case will depend on what investigators can actually prove.
Okay. Can go left. We'll go back out those front doors. Get a search warrant for that. Thing. Do you care? Hey, before you step out here, there are all these people. No what?
I don't want you to go there.
Okay. Yeah, we'll get a search warrant for it. Oh, we don't need one for that. They'll provide that. I want to look through the phone though. Huh? I got somebody in the back of my car.
Ah, okay. No,
Yeah.
Air conditioning.
I'm headed to the jail. I'm headed to jail. Sorry, take one real quick. Good Lord.
Okay, took three.
I gotta go. Bye. You're gonna go down for all this? I do not believe that you came down here to get a car knowing that you'll have to have a cosigner and that you sent it to Michael and Michael was like, oh yeah, I have an uncle. Okay? So not only did he use your ex-boyfriend's driver's license number, they used his picture, okay, and then picked up some random social from Oklahoma, which just happened to be a shitty pick because it was a deputy sheriff, you know. And then the fact that a driver's license was altered. Like, I just don't believe that you had no knowledge of that at all. Now, if you'd have told him, like, you know, I'm going to send it to you and you do your thing, I don't really care as long as I get a car. Like, if you'd have told me that, we wouldn't be on the way to the Pettis County Jail. What do you mean that's what it was? I guess what I'm trying to figure out is how y'all picked a random name.
I didn't pick nobody.
Okay, well, okay.
I swear to God, I didn't know nothing about nothing.
I have a hard time believing that. Because what I think happened is you needed a car because you didn't have one.
I haven't had one in a year.
Right, so you need a car.
I needed a car a year ago.
Yeah. They're like, hey, we'll give you a car, you get a cosigner, right? I think you knew that Michael couldn't, but I think that you also knew that Michael had a way to get you a car, is what I think. Not only did you lose your car, but now you're probably going to go to prison, and on top of that, your friend set you up. So, I mean, you really hit the trifecta. And you're probably going to spend 4th of July weekend in jail. I don't know how you can keep BSing over somebody who set you up.
Now, I'm telling you what he did. I gave him his name.
You've not told me anything what he did.
I don't know what he did.
Right, and I don't believe that.
I swear to God.
You what?
Tell me the truth.
And I don't believe it. I don't believe that you had no idea what was going on. I don't.
Swear to God,
How old are you?
Almost 40.
You're almost 40.
Yeah. But when I say I'm a friend to somebody, I'm loyal. And I would never do no crazy
Which
shit
is
like
why
that.
I think, because you're loyal, which I understand that completely. But instead,
Somebody else do that.
because nobody is like that. Very few people are as loyal as you are. Okay? And your loyalty right now is getting you stuck in here.
I'm telling you. I'm not even trying to be
Step out
loyal
for
to
me.
him. What do you want me to say? I don't want to
We're too late for that. We're already here. We're here. We're going to walk through that door, and we're going to walk through another one, and we're going to be in the booking area.
I don't want to be here.
And you're going to get booked in, and you're going to stay here.
Please. I don't want to be
I can't help you now.
Yeah, you can.
I can't. I've tried. I've talked to you for...
Please.
I came to talk to you at like 4 o'clock.
Please.
What's
I
up?
need to go to rehab.
Well, you should have thought about that
I didn't.
before you did what you did.
But I can
I mean, I don't know what I can do for you now. I started talking to you at 4 o'clock. Okay, it is 6.
But I'm telling you the truth. I don't know what you want me to say.
Well, I don't believe you. I don't believe you at all.
What's going to make you believe me?
I guess when you're here Monday morning, because you're spending the weekend in here, you realize what's going on, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think I've been pretty clear with all that detail.
Yeah. And
Okay?
I'm telling you the
So it's a
truth.
fraudulent driver's license.
I
You
had
stole
no
a car.
idea. You're the one that showed it to me.
Right. Okay, and I showed you all the altercations to it. Okay, you stole a car, you stole an identity.
You know I was stealing the car.
Right, but you did. So that's where we're at now. So we're stacking felonies, is what we're doing.
I already have felonies. And I 10 years
And you're
back.
just adding them. You have a 10-year back.
Yes.
And you're going to go down for somebody that set you up.
I'm telling you the truth.
Well, you're going to do your 10-year back and then whatever else you get for your other 3. Come on. I've tried. I've tried. I have with you for 2 hours.
No, come on. I'm telling you. I won't tell you whatever.
I don't believe you.
I'll tell you whatever.
What do you mean you'll tell me whatever? I've been trying to get you to tell me the truth for 2 hours, and I'm done with it. I'm done. We sat in an office for an hour and a half. You had your opportunity. It's done.
Please.
No, step out.
No, please just give me a chance.
Step out of the car. Second door on the left. Thank you much.
For nearly the entire interrogation, Patricia's defense rests on one central claim. She needed a vehicle, trusted someone else to arrange the financing, and did not understand that stolen information was being used. By itself, that explanation is not impossible. Fraud schemes sometimes rely on intermediaries who deliberately prevent the final buyer from seeing how the paperwork is produced. But investigators are trained to compare that explanation with the surrounding circumstances. Patricia personally presented the transaction, received the vehicle, and continued using it after financing was approved under another person's identity. Even then, those facts may not reveal exactly what she knew beforehand. The strongest evidence may come from somewhere else entirely, not from what she says, but from what she possesses. If officers find additional financial information belonging to unrelated people, the case changes dramatically. What might have been framed as reckless trust could begin to look like knowledge of a broader identity theft operation.
Thank you much.
After searching her purse, several debit and credit cards were also found, including a notebook with another Oklahoma resident's name, date of birth, social security number, address, and bank routing and account number.